Recorded live with little or no editing, it's Roster Roast. Now, we grade war defenses on 5 different criteria. It's who you're using, their placement, their ISOs, their power levels, and what kind of mood I'm in. So to start off, we're going to jump into Doombot's war defense. And first up, he's got defenders on defense. Now, hey, he's put some power into this. He's been playing it for a while, and back in the day, defenders are where it's at. But you know what really irks me about this team? Their placement's off, and he's got the wrong ISOs on these guys. You don't need to put Fortifier on Luke Cage. The rest of them are okay. I think maybe you should put Raider on Daredevil, but honestly, I think you should get rid of this team off of defense. They don't slow anybody down. Just put a better, like a meta defense, or you could even start trying hybrid defenses now. But use them as a cleanup team on offense. Let's see. Up next, team number 2 is the Guardians. Now, these are just as bad as defenders these days. Guardians, even with Star-Lord on the team, they get walked over too. It's just kind of a waste of a defense. But the thing is, you can't even be using them on offense right now. So if you don't have enough defenses in place, this is what you use. I don't really like your placement. If I were you, I would get Rocket next to Star-Lord so that he's being fed the energy and he can ult more often. But really, it doesn't matter. This team's just going to get one shot by just about anybody. Again, you got Fortifier on Drax. He doesn't need it. He's going to be the last to die. You should put Healer on him. Star-Lord should probably be Striker. Rocket should be Striker. Groot should be Skirmisher. And then the other 2 should be Healer. Change their ISOs, change their placement. I think this is this is a D. Same with defenders. They're a D also. It's just something you're using because it's better than a shield guard. But in the case of the defenders over here, like this is a team you can actually use on offense to pick off some big junk team or something like that. They're usable on offense, whereas the Guardians are they're here to fill a space because you can't even use them on offense really. I mean, maybe to take down shield guards in the event that somebody is missing a member from their alliance. Okay, team number 3. Kree Minion team with Ronin. This is an okay team for early play. It's not something you want to invest in. You don't want to build up the minions at all because, I mean, Nick Fury's not even he's a retired legendary now. You don't even need to build these guys. They do work. They function well. The AI plays them well. They're just not good enough to do anything. Again, you've got your ISOs on the tank right here. We don't want that. I would put Healer on him. Ronin should be probably a Skirmisher, I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm thinking Skirmisher or Healer. You should do Striker on the Reaper. Healer's there is good. And this guy as probably a Skirmisher on the Royal Guard or whatever that person's name is. I don't even know. I never play with these guys anymore. The placement's pretty good, although you could swap the Oracle and the Royal... Is this Royal Guard? I don't remember. Again, swap these 2 right here. But otherwise, your placement's okay. So ISOs need work. Placement's okay. It's just a crap team. You're probably throwing them in there because you don't have anything better. Yeah, it's another... I'm going to give you a D-, though, because you kind of got them screwed up a little bit. You got to do something better than this team, though. Nobody cares. You come across this team, and this is what you're using your defenders to take out because you're like, I don't want to mess with this. Defenders, auto, done. Here's an old school Sinister 6. You need to be getting these guys star levels up to 7 stars so you can unlock your legendaries. Otherwise, get Doc Ock in here. Nobody's stopping this. 150 aim team, which everybody has these days, is going to roll right through them. Again, you're putting Fortifier on a tank. That's just Fortifier are for like really squishy blasters. That's where you should put Fortifier. Let's see the other ISOs. Like why are you putting the ISO on the Fortifier ISO on Mysterio? You want him to die if anything. That makes Rhino bigger if he dies because then you have 2 Mysterios, maybe even 3 on the field. Your placement's fine, but really this is just another junk team that's going to get walked over. I'm going to say a D for this also. Get those star levels up, get Doc Ock in here, and then we'll talk. But otherwise, nothing. Here's a team. Now, this is a pretty good one right here. I don't like the ISOs on this, but your placement is correct. And What you really need to do is change Taskmaster to a skirmisher and everybody else to striker, and then he's going to just be dealing out a ton of damage and going really fast. You might want to think about getting Korath in here, and you definitely got to get Lieutenant's power level up, because if somebody comes in with an X-Force, he's going to get knocked below 50% on that opening move, and that's just going to set up their combo to roll over this team. So you want skirmisher, you want healer or striker, and then striker on everybody else. You can keep him as a healer, that works. But get his power level up for sure. I'm going to give you just like a B on this one. I mean, your biggest problem is this guy right here with his low power level. That's just an open chink in the armor that people are going to exploit. Let's see. Moving up next is Coulson without Fury. 170. This team isn't stopping anybody. They're too small. You should have Fury unlocked now, right? If you've got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you've got, I mean, one more and you'll have Fury unlocked. You might as well put Fury on this team. He's retired now, so you can unlock him anytime. And then, again, no fortifier on your tank. They don't need it. Put healer on him, healer on the medic, and then you want to get rid of her, replace her with Fury, and go Raider, and Raider on all these. And then they're going to come in, and with those Raiders, they're basically going to crit 100% of the time. And that's going to be rolling back turn meter. That's going to be doing all sorts of nice features. Fury will be giving off energy to the team and stuff like that. So switch that whole thing around. This is D- right here, honestly. Yeah. And then when you do get Coulson in this team, you want to, for where our alliance is working at right now, you want to be at least 250 power. At least 250 power with this team. Maybe even like a 300. Just make them really bring in that Brotherhood team and waste it in there. All right. Up next is AIM. And you have the scientist in there in place of Assaulter? Okay, that's interesting. Okay. I don't know. I mean, this is one of those teams that it can go either way. Normally I would replace the big guy with scientist, but you went with Assaulter, and that's fine. Assaulter grants speed, and speed is everything in this game. Whereas Monstrosity is just a damage dealer, and in my opinion, he doesn't do a good enough damage for this team. I mean, when you kind of get him maxed out, you do, but you're not maxing him out. Because 150 is as high as you want to take this team. Maybe 200 if you're having trouble in some of those nodes where they're required. Yeah, I'm roasting Doombot, guys. And then I'd bring up the power levels on AIM Scientist, and let's see. Change your ISO on AIM Security to Healer. And you got to get somebody setting up Vulnerable in there. You've got 2 strikers and nobody doing Skirmisher or Raid. So I would get maybe Raider on Monstrosity, and you could do Skirmisher on Scientist. You could do Skirmisher on Security, I guess. Doesn't really matter. I mean, this team's going to get crushed anyway. They're too small. I don't really like them. I think you should use something else. These are all just kind of junk teams for real low-level alliances, and I think that we're big enough and you're big enough that you should be putting in better stuff than this right now. I'm going to give that one a D. And here is your last team. It's a Hero Brawler team. You should put Miss Marvel off to the side. I'm not sure if I like these people in here. They're all Hero Brawlers, and it functions. It's going to be a different... like, people aren't going to see this one, and they're not going to be sure exactly how to attack it. With Psylocke removing debuffs, and Captain Marvel doing some decent damage, because she's, 5 red stars. Or, 5 red stars, 6 gold. Yeah, 290. I mean, it's something that's going to give people pause. They're not just going to go in here all willy-nilly. They'll either punch down with a big garbage team, or they'll actually really think about it. So I would work on your placement, though. Get America Chavez off to one side and Miss Marvel off to the other side. Let's see. Striker, Fortifier. I think you want to go with the skirmisher striker combo, so definitely put Miss Marvel as a skirmisher. Yep. And then keep everybody as striker. I don't know why you've got her as fortifier. You're reducing this team's impact by like 50%. If you change her to skirmisher, they're going to be doing so much more damage. That alone is a real ding on your credit score here. C. Yeah, C. Change that skirmisher, get the placement changed up a little bit, and you'll be doing much better. All right, that's kind of the basics. These are some real old teams. They haven't, we don't use many of these teams anymore. So if you're using these teams, you're going to want to look at where you're at in your alliance. We're let's put it this way. Half of our alliance is just entering DD4, and the other half is just finishing up DD3. That's kind of where we're at in our time scale here. We're doing Plat 1, and we're at about 150 million TCP for the alliance. These are really small, really newer player teams, and you don't want to be using them. You want to switch to some bigger teams, some newer teams. Start thinking about hybrid teams, although we tested out some hybrids that just don't work anymore. But that's for another video. Anyway, if you like what you saw, please leave comments. Hit the like button. Links are in the description so you can find me. I'm on Twitch every morning, Mondays, 9 to noon, Pacific Coast time. Or you can find me on Discord, run 74041. If you want to have your roster roasted, look at a defense, or even do save squads, just message me on Discord. We'll get some screenshots from you and make it happen. All right, don't just have a good game, guys. Be good to each other. Thanks. Bye.